Hello! Video 3 of my rants, reviews, pickups, ramblings, incoherent noises. But we'll just start off with Superman 31. Got Mix's Pedelec up here in the corner. I think Mix's Pedelec is a great villain. And the name he has is perfect for the character he is, because I've fought forever to say his name correctly. I still don't know if I am saying it correctly. Mix's Pedelec could be completely wrong. But because he's an asshole in the comics, I figure he's an asshole because you can't say his name right, too. And I like him. I'd like to see more of him in more comics, pick up more that he's in. And this cover with Superman kind of as Godzilla, stomping on buildings and whatnot, I like this cover a lot. Amazing Spider-Man 113, first appearance of Hammerhead. I don't like this cover a lot. I understand it because he drops his mask in a fight with Doc Ock right there, and it gets picked up by somebody and ends up in the newsroom, I guess you could say, where he works, and it's pinned up on the wall. And like I said, the cover, it makes sense, but I don't like it. It has a weird feeling to me. It looks a little off to me. John Romita artwork here, I believe. The first panel that Hammerhead appears in, he's sitting in a chair in the dark, and it's a very aesthetically pleasing panel. It's kind of eerie how he's sitting there, and then he just shows up, and as most first appearances are, says Hammerhead, says his own name. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. And the main reason I picked this up was because of the first Hammerhead. I like picking up first appearances, and I like Hammerhead. Marvel Premiere number 10. Doctor Strange, Master of Mystic Arts. This, I thought when I bought this that it was the first appearance of Shumagorth, and it still may be, because I'm not positive. I see conflicting arguments for it all over. I think number 9 might be. But either way, it's a very early appearance, maybe the second appearance of Shumagorth, and he's actually purple in this issue. He's painted purple, not the normal green color that you see him as. And I want to say Frank Brunner did the artwork. I'm not sure, though. I'm not positive. But it's a very early appearance of Shumagorth, and I think he's a very aesthetically pleasing character. I'm going to overuse that word this whole video. And I think this is the issue where Doctor Strange becomes the Sorcerer Supreme. He has to kill the Ancient One, and then he becomes the Sorcerer Supreme. I like the artwork in this a lot. It has unconventional panels, how they're not all squares or rectangles and in order. There's like some diagonal ones, and I get lost about 3 times in the book trying to find out where I'm supposed to be reading. It happens. But I like this. I like this kind of artwork. A lot of dialogue, but it's worth it because it's very, very well written. Shazam number 1. And when I pulled this out to read this, I was astounded by the condition that it's in, because it is in fantastic condition. I didn't think it was in that good a condition. And when I read this, I thought it was interesting. I kind of put myself in the mindset of when this came out, if I was that old and reading this, about how I could be, Billy Batson, and if I said Shazam, I could turn into Captain Marvel. The artwork inside kind of reminded me of like a Beetle Bailey almost, because everything was like bulky, and the words were big, and the dialogue boxes were big. And there's actually a reprint of, I think it's Adventures of Captain Marvel 55 in here, where it's like the never-ending string, and I was losing it that whole time, because it was a generic story, but it was put with a twist of Captain Marvel being there. And I like this a lot. I have a bunch of these, so I'm going to have to read more of these. Alright, I'll be the first to say that I read some pretty terrible comics. This one is a terrible comic. It was Cage number 5, the 90s Luke Cage series. And the only reason that I even have it in here is because there's a Thor imposter in it, who just carrying around a claw hammer in one hand and a ball-peen hammer in the other, and he has a trash can on his chest like it's armor. I couldn't get over it. I loved it. He fought him, and I was losing it the whole time. Just the fact to see him a ball-peen hammer, he thought he was Thor, it was unbelievable. 90s, it's whatever. I have to respect the 90s because that's when I kind of got into comics, so I have to give them a chance, but usually not worth it. All-Star Comics 61 with the Super Squad. It's the Earth 2 characters, I believe. And like I said, I'm still getting into DC, so I'm not that knowledgeable on it yet, but I'm working at it. And I like this Green Lantern more, the Earth 2 Green Lantern. I just like the look of him. I think it's more creative, maybe you could say. But I'm going to have to pick up the new Earth 2 of the New 52 where he is gay. I'd like to check that out. It just sounds like something cool to me. And in this issue, he actually, as you can see there, he fails at saving Dr. Fate, who, quote, dies. But he doesn't really die. He just, at the end, they'll tell me he's sick. But one thing about this issue is the Star-Spangled Kid would quote his cosmic rod every single page. He said something about his cosmic rod. It almost made me giggle, because it's a separate time, it's a different time. And when he says like cosmic rod, it just sounds a little racy, or on a on the weird side. But all in all, I like this. It was alright. Adventure Comics 450 starring Aquaman. Once again, another rod or wand, I guess you could say. It's the weather wizard. He has to use his wand to control the weather. There's some pretty neat panels in this one. He has like the ocean split, and then he brings it together when he feels right to do it, I guess. And Aquaman's always been kind of just on the cusp for me. Like, I kind of like him, and it's hard for me to like him. But this was a good issue of his, and I wouldn't mind reading more Aquaman from this time period. But that'll be it for video 3. You have a great day.